This Friday, see what critics are calling a cold-blooded masterpiece.
Hello, Finney.
You're dead. Dead is just a word.
Did you think our story was over?
Discover the secret
You brought us here for a reason.
behind the mask.
What do you think happens when you die? It's time to find out.
Ethan Hawke,
I'm not afraid of you. You should be.
Black Phone 2, only in theaters Friday. Rated R, under 17, not admitted without parent.
Finished training for the day? Time to fight post-workout fatigue with Core Power Protein Shakes. They're packed with 26 grams of high-quality protein to build muscle and electrolytes to help hydrate. The nutrition you need to help your body replenish, rebuild, and repair post-workout so you can power on to the next one. Champion your recovery with Core Power. Visit corepower.com to learn more.
I have a wee proposition, if you wouldn't mind giving me a few moments of your time. Would you consider just sodding off? All of you, right now!
Hello, welcome to Unequal Sequel. My name is Dave, and I'm one of the two hosts of this stinky podcast.
You went all like weird voiced for a second then.
Yeah, I did. On purpose.
Yeah, it really put me off.
Oh, sorry.
My name's Rich, and I'm the other host of this stinky podcast. Think of me as Fred Flintstone to Dave's Barney Rubble, because I like dinosaur-sized food, and he's my tiny, friendly little sidekick.
Yeah.
I'll put you off then.
I feel like Barney Rubble quite often, actually. The premise of Unequal Sequel is very simple. We ask our guests their best ever sequel, worst ever sequel, and finally their dream sequel.
And sometimes we'll drift off and talk about other things, sometimes movies, and sometimes life in general.
And of course, we like to drop big fat spoilers, and that's totally by accident. So if you do that, go downstairs, check your diary. You know you don't know what you're doing for the next week. You know you've got Pilates on Friday. Go to Pilates. It makes you feel better. Because on today's episode, we are joined by Joz Norris.
Joz is a brilliant alternative comedian. He's a comic actor. He's a screenwriter. He does all sorts of things. And yeah, he's amazing. We're
very excited to sit down with Joz and chat all things sequels with him.
These are Joz Norris's Unequal Sequels. Enjoy.
Before we get on to the big question, we got like a warm-up question to get ourselves going. So that is, Joz, what is the first sequel you remember seeing and getting excited about?
Oh, the first one. I mean, weirdly, this is the opposite of that. My brain's gone straight to the 97 Godzilla movie. Do you remember that?
Yes.
Which is the opposite of a sequel. But it ends with, do you remember at the end, like a baby Godzilla jumps out of the egg and leaps at the screen?
Yes, I do. I love this.
I remember that being the first time I ever got excited about the idea of a sequel. I remember being like, oh my God, there'll be more of this. And then it never came. But I wrote, I found a while ago, I went back to clear some stuff out from my mum and my stepdad's old place, because they were like, you got to get rid of this shit. There's too much shit.
Yeah.
And I found like a 3-page Godzilla sequel that I attempted to write after that film.
Brilliant.
It was I'd say it's as good as the 97 movie.
Yeah.
Having rewatched it again since, I think my follow-up was okay.
What was the time span? Like, were you waiting for that sequel, and then when it didn't happen, that's the point you thought, fuck it, I'm going to write it myself?
Yeah, I can't remember whether I immediately went into... I'd have to look at the dates to work out, you know, when that particular notebook came from and how many years afterwards it was. But I feel like sequels were just a bit less of a thing after. Like, it wasn't inevitable that you would get a sequel to a movie. Like, I remember, like, I watched Star Wars as a kid, but I watched Return of the Jedi first, so I found then going back to watch the rest of Star Wars very confusing.
Yeah.
Like the whole, you know, the I Am Your Father bit, I was like, yeah, we know this. That was like, he's dead, isn't he? This guy's dead.
Yeah.
So I think my understanding of sequels was always, and I watched Terminator 2, but I watched Terminator 2 before I watched Terminator. So I think my understanding of sequels being like the sequel is the reward you get after this good thing was never really there as a kid.
Yeah.
But Godzilla, I think, was the first time I ever remember being like, oh my God, I hope there's another one. That was so good.
I watched that movie for the first time about 4 days ago.
Whoa, Godzilla 95 or whatever it was.
No, is it
98?
98.
98.
So when you were younger, so you were born 89. I read your Wikipedia, by the way.
Yeah,
it's
that's
not,
true.
It's not too
I've
creepy.
got the year of my birth on
It's
my
not too
Wikipedia.
creepy.
That's crazy. Yeah.
So you're
It's
kind of
true.
the same era we are. Like you were talking about
Right.
that the sequels were definitely, we watched them out of order kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Depending, I think, when our parents showed them to us a little bit
Yeah.
and thought that was
Yeah,
appropriate.
yeah.
So in their eyes, Terminator 2 was more family friendly than Terminator.
I think Terminator 2 was like on telly once, and I think my parents weren't that involved. I don't think either of them has ever seen a Terminator film.
Brilliant.
But maybe Terminator 2 was on when I was about 12-ish, and I thought, yeah, I'll watch this, and I loved it, but I was baffled by it. I was completely baffled. Every time there was a, like, you know, where they go and look at the arm of the original Terminator from the first one, and there's a bit where she has a dream and Kyle Reese turns up, and I'm like, I don't know who that is, but I'm loving this robot.
Yeah. What about
Absolutely
like
loving the trappings of
Aliens
this.
and Back to the Future and
Oh yeah, I think
all
I
the
watched
other
Back to the
ones?
Future 3 long before I saw either the other Back to the Futures.
You must have been very confused by that then.
I had no idea what was going on, but I loved that it was in the Wild West. I was just like, this is great. It's like it's a wacky old man in the Wild West. That's cool.
It definitely happened more when we were younger because you couldn't just pop on streaming and be like, oh, well, I'll just watch the first one before we go and watch the second one. You know?
Yeah, there was no guarantee of like how you even can watch the previous one. Like if the new one is out on telly, then yeah, you can't really do any pre-reading for it.
No, definitely
And
not.
sometimes it was too late at night, and sometimes it had adverts in it, and you had to pre-record it. And sometimes they just cut some mad bits out, so which didn't make sense. And then, like I said, the parents deciding what you can and can watch. What age were you really getting into cinema then? What age was your?
I reckon around sort of. I remember watching Batman and Robin in the cinema,
And that was the awakening. Yeah,
that was a big awakening for me. I remember my mum always talks about this, that she remembers me sitting in the cinema watching Batman and Robin and like holding my pick and mix like in a clenched fist until the film started. Because I was like, I'm not opening this until the actual film has started. And she was really impressed by my restraint. She was like, you were so excited by the idea of like, it's going to be the film soon, that you were like, you had to eat the sweets when the film started. So I think there was something about like the ritual of cinema around that point that I really liked. And I remember thinking there's a bit at the end where George Clooney says, freeze, the heat is on, and then switches on a heat ray, which I remember thinking was the coolest thing.
Oh, bless you, Joz. I was like, is this the point when you worked out sequels and films could be bad?
No, it's like, this is brilliant. I absolutely love this. Again, hadn't seen the previous Batmans, I don't think. Then went back and was like, oh, these films can be better. Actually,
Yes, just a little bit.
But at the time, I was just like, this is so good.
Have you rewatched Batman? Have you gone back to these films now, or you just
Not
left
that
them in the past?
I've not seen Batman and Robin again. I reckon everything I've read about it and everything I know about it and everything I remember about it, I reckon I'd still like it.
Right?
I think it seems like a film that knows what it is. It's very easy to say this when I've not rewatched it.
I'm not sure Clooney knew what it was. In fact, I think every actor in it is in a different movie.
Oh, yes,
Right.
that is true.
I think that's great.
Yeah.
I remember I once worked with a director who said that I was an aggressive student of mediocrity.
Oh.
And he said that it was really interesting that he wasn't talking about my performance. He was really nice about my performance. But whenever we talked about film, he was like, it doesn't matter to you if a film is good or not. He was like, you're very happy to enjoy mediocre films as long as they're sort of doing the thing they're trying to. It was because we were talking about the Sylvester Stallone Judge Dredd, which I still think is brilliant.
Joz,
I think it's absolutely brilliant.
Me and you
film.
could be best friends because I have this kind of same philosophy in life and movies.
I don't need it to be good.
No, sometimes not. Especially those kind of films when I don't know, there's kind of like a je ne sais quoi about them. That I've become some kind of magic. Yeah, they are bad films, But there,
I suppose objectively,
Rich feels very different.
I'm so the opposite.
Well, you're like, bad film is a bad film.
I'm not.
Don't waste my time.
I'm not someone who can go, oh, it's so bad, it's good. I'm like, no, it's bad. This is just bad.
Right.
Is that always been like that, Rich?
Yeah, I think so. I think so. Like, you always say, Dave, you can tell when I don't like a film because you can like hear my eyes rolling. Like,
yeah, I've watched a few films with Rich over the course of the last few years, and I can tell the mood he's in while watching the movie because he just, I don't know, there's lots of tuts and growls.
I just can't keep it in. I don't know what it is. Like,
and we've seen a lot of sequels that probably Rich wouldn't have watched.
Oh God, no. But some in a good way, like things like Smile 2. I would never have watched Smile 2, and I loved it. So,
and Puss in Boots 2 and stuff
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah, Bridget Jones 4 did not see that coming. But anyway, sorry, that's about.
What was the last sequel that you really got excited about that was coming out then? Like,
I think I've lost the joy of it these days. I think there's something about when you're a kid and that thing of like you get to go back to that world that you love. And these days I'm so much more aware of like sequels being a quite cynical corporate money-making scheme. And I've seen so many of them where I'm just like, this doesn't need to exist.
Yeah, that's true.
So trying to remember the last time I actually watched one and was like, oh, that justified its existence. Like I went to see Spinal Tap 2 last week and just found it depressing, really. Like because I think it sort of misremembered what's good about Spinal Tap, in that I think everyone thinks like, oh, it was full of all those great like improvised interviews or whatever. But actually, I think the things that are really good about Spinal Tap are those massive set pieces of like Derek Smalls getting stuck in the pod, and then the Stonehenge thing, and going through the metal detector. Like there's so many big like planned moments, and then the improv links it all together. And
Getting
with the new
lost
one,
in
it
the
really
concert.
just felt like like getting lost backstage. It felt like the new one that it was just, well, we'll put them in a room and we'll bring in loads of celebrity cameos, and they're great improvisers, so they'll improvise like a brilliant movie for us. And I just watched it being like, but you haven't put anything in here to actually anchor it. So we're just watching some old guys sitting in a room. And I didn't even love the improv, to be honest. I think I laughed like twice.
It wasn't worth the 40-year wait.
No, yeah. So there's too many things like that these days where I'm just like, why? Why did you do this other than that you knew it would make money?
Yeah.
There must have been one more recently where I'm like, oh, that was actually brilliant. But I'm struggling.
I'm trying to think the Avatars, the Top Guns, the Mission Impossibles.
I hate Avatar. Avatar's so bad. Mission Impossible, I hadn't seen any Mission Impossibles until earlier this year.
Right.
And then I'd seen the original years and years ago, but I haven't watched any of the sequels. And then watched Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 1, because I thought I'd prep for the final one. And then after I watched that, I was like, I'm not watching the final one. That was shit. That was
The final one is worse. Like,
really?
Yeah. Oh, it's worse.
I disagree.
Oh my God, that's hard to do. There's a bit in the penultimate one where Tom Cruise is a close-up magician, where he gets the like magic key, and then he swaps it from this hand to this hand. And I'm like, what is your job? Are you
Tom Cruise is Jesus in the last one.
Where did you learn close-up magic? Wow.
Yeah, he does give off a messiah complex in the final film.
Crazy.
I would love to hear your views, because it could possibly make you angry and tear up the cinema or wherever you're watching it. Because we've done this for 5 years now, and that's the sequel that's split us the most.
Yeah,
really?
I
mean, so you hated it.
I hated it.
He hated
you
it.
loved it.
Yeah. I didn't love it, but I think the last hour and a half, because
I think the more people we speak to, the more agree with me, though, Dave. Right?
I've done a bit of work on it recently at work, doing bits and bobs on it, like different, and I don't think it's going to age well. There's a particular scene when Tom Cruise is talking to Hayley Atwell, and I wanted to eat my own fist at that point because it's so cheesy.
Oh no!
But there's a bit underwater bit and a plane bit, and I think that's great.
Yeah, there was the bit at the end of the previous one where they're climbing up through the train. I loved.
Yeah, that was good.
But I was like, it's not enough to have like one well choreographed action set piece in a 3-hour movie. Like that's just not.
Yeah.
You can't market the entire thing on that and be like, and if you wait till the end, there'll be a good bit.
They've marketed that bike jump so much. They showed you so much. They showed you making of. Yeah. The making of was better than what actually happens in the film.
Yeah, when it happens, it's just like, he jumps off a mountain.
In the film,
could have been CGI.
You can tell that's not really rocks, but in the making of, you're like, well, that's incredible. That's really well done. But, Is there a point in your life when sequels got bad then? Do you remember that?
I think it must have been something to do with Marvel. It's got to be around the time of Marvel, because I got annoyed by the existence of Marvel anyway, because I'm a Spider-Man fan.
Right.
And I remember being very annoyed that Iron Man had become as popular as he had, because that was my brother's favourite. He read a lot of Iron Man comics. I read Spider-Man, and I became aware of this annoying like shift in the balance of power, and I was like, I'm not going to go and see these films. I'm going to boycott them.
Right.
So, like, who cares? But I think they did quite well, regardless.
So you've seen none of them?
I'd seen none of them for a while, but then I went to see like the big team up one. So I went to see Avengers Infinity War and Avengers Endgame, and I really enjoyed the sensation of being like, I have no idea what's going on. Like people cheering in the cinema and being like, don't know who that is. I guess because it reminded me of like watching sequels out of order as a kid.
Yeah.
But all these moments that were, so I think it was around then I started to get this like weariness around sequels, where it was like, this makes so much money and it's being done because it makes money, but it doesn't really function as storytelling. Like unless you've seen 25 other films.
Yeah.
You're just being shut out. Like there's not actually a good story being told here. You're just expected to be like, oh wow, he said the thing, or he did the thing, or I remember that from something else. So I think Marvel was sort of instrumental in me being like, I think sequels are a bit crap, actually.
Do you think that's an age
But I think it did
thing?
just change the business model completely for Hollywood. Like all of it was just chasing after that. And yeah, maybe I'm too old now.
I think we're there now.
Yeah.
Not like for films in general,
No.
but I think as soon as you become aware of like
There's too much.
because
It's too
I
much
like
Marvel.
reading about the business practices behind it and things, but it means you bring that knowledge into the thing, so it's hard for you to just watch a film as escapism.
Yeah.
Because you're also like, well, I know that there are some shareholders who needed this to exist for their bonuses or whatever. So I watch it with that sort of like curmudgeonly attitude of like, it didn't really justify itself.
Yeah. And I can see why you don't like Avatar as well, because that's very similar, isn't
rubbish.
it? It's just
So bad.
once you get over that, oh, that's pretty, then that's it, isn't it? That's all that there is to them. Like
I've fallen asleep in both the Avatar films.
Well, I can tell you now, the new one is 3 hours long.
Oh, nice. I'll have a good nap in the middle.
Yeah.
That's going to be great.
Great. I think, just wake up for the last hour and a half in that movie and it'll be great.
I was going to say, you won't miss anything. You know, it's just, because it won't.
Blue people chatting, getting emotional.
Also, I liked the fact that, again, the sequel to that one was done with that thing of like, it's all that stuff you remember, but Avatar is like, it has that famous thing that like nobody remembers anything about it. It's like hugely popular, but didn't make any cultural impact at all. So, you know, when they bring the villain back, and it's like, it's that terrible villain that we all hate. And I was like, I don't remember. You could have brought in a new villain and nobody would have known.
Yeah.
The idea that you have to like insist on this character is like, nobody remembers that character.
Yeah. It's why things like so Avatar movies make loads of money, but merchandise makes nothing. So it's almost like the opposite of Star Wars, whereas the movies didn't make all that much money, but the merch makes loads because characters are really important in those movies. Whereas Avatar, like they tried to release an Avatar Lego and all that kind of stuff, and it just flopped completely because no one gives a crap about any of the characters. They're all just there to go, oh, shiny.
Yeah, that looks nice.
That's what it is.
And isn't there also like there's a secret subculture of people that want to be the blue cat people?
Oh,
and they're trying to like get body modifications and things. So I think there's like a hardcore group of people that are like, we love it, we want to live there. And outside of that, I don't think anyone really cares.
Yeah, there's probably about 7 of those, though, aren't there?
I'm sure it's not massive.
We'll find out in December when it comes like the highest grossing movie again. So,
Yeah.
something to look forward to. We'll move on to the big question now, Joz.
Okay.
What was your best ever sequel?
Well, I sent you 2 answers.
You did.
For this.
We can talk about both.
I changed my answer. I initially said Shrek 2.
It's a good choice. Yeah.
It's a great sequel. It's a brilliant sequel. We rewatched a lot of me and my girlfriend rewatched a lot of the Shrek franchise earlier this year because Shrek 5 got announced. And we thought, we've never seen Shrek 3 and 4. We should go back. Ooh. So we watched Shrek 1, 2, 3. And then we were like, let's not watch 4, actually, because 3 was, bad.
But I would recommend Puss in Boots 2.
Puss in Boots 2 is brilliant. Puss in Boots The Last
really
Wish.
good.
Yeah. I've not seen Puss in Boots 1.
You don't need to.
But I thought Puss in Boots 2 was fantastic. Maybe Puss in Boots 2 is the last time I watched a sequel and was like, wow, that was actually good.
Yeah.
Because that was, last year or 2 years ago?
Year before last.
Yeah.
Right.
2 years ago.
Yeah, that was good. I loved that wolf.
The animation, the music.
Yeah. That's the main thing I remember is that wolf. I was terrified.
Yeah.
So when
But Shrek 2, brilliant.
when did you watch? Did you watch that when it came out?
Watched it when it came
2002?
out. I feel like Shrek 2 is a weird one because I feel like Shrek 2 contains everything that everyone loves about Shrek. And then when we rewatched them, I realised it's not got Lord Farquaad in it.
No.
There's this weird thing that there isn't actually a Shrek film that contains everything that everyone loves about Shrek. But I feel like the majority of them are introduced in Shrek 2.
Yeah.
You've got Rupert Everett, you got Jennifer Saunders, you got the big gingerbread man.
Yeah.
You got Puss in Boots.
I mean, that ending is banging in Shrek 2 with Holding Out for a Hero.
Holding Out for a Hero.
Jennifer
Yeah,
Sanders.
that's so good.
It
makes me cry.
It's
when he
genius.
falls in the moat and dies.
Yeah. I can't
cry my
leave
head off at
him.
that.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah. Also, I think it does more with I've forgotten that like those other supporting fairy tale characters aren't really in the films very much. I think that like Pinocchio and the Gingerbread Man, I think of them as like key characters. They're barely in the first one. And then the second one, it has that whole heist scene where he's wearing women's underwear.
Great jokes.
Very
Great
funny.
jokes.
Very, very funny scene.
The bit when he gets turned into a real boy for 30 seconds is also...
That's great.
I'm a real
That's
boy.
really good. Yeah.
I'm not. Was it Love at First Sight for Shrek 2 then?
I think so. And I remember not loving the first Shrek as a kid. I did watch these in the right order when they came out, so I managed to buck the trend there. And I remember Shrek, I was like, this is okay, but it's not Pixar, you know?
Yeah.
I was a big sort of like Pixar stan. Is the word stan?
Yeah.
No, that's when you...
That's when you really love
That's when
something.
you're doing like fan fiction.
Yeah. That's when you
I think
really
I was a
love
stan
it, yeah.
then.
Right.
Big Pixar stan, and Shrek, I was like, yeah, that's all right. Shrek 2, couldn't stop thinking about it. Particularly, that whole like holding out for a hero thing. There's a real yearning to it. I think I find like it made me feel weird, that ending. I don't know why.
I think there's a lot of
everyone coming together.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of people that are sort of down on it because it's got quite a lot of pop culture references, and they're like, "Oh, it's never going to age well." But actually, you watch it again, and a lot of it stands up still. You know,
I still think it's great fun.
Yeah,
like, it doesn't hang around at all. Pretty much, it gets the plot points really quickly, and it's not a huge long film, and it's got some really memorable moments. And the like you said, the plus points of adding Puss in Boots in there, and Jennifer Sanders, and more Prince Charming, and those kind of things. Really funny, and you got to remember Shrek's not Shrek for most of that film. He's a human, so
he's like a weird Gordon Brown kind of thing,
or is Fiona?
It sort of looks like a hot Gordon Brown.
Yeah, it is a bit weird. So there's not a lot of Shrek in Shrek 2.
Yeah,
which is strange, but Eddie Murphy's still funny. Donkey's still great, still working.
You've got Tom Waits and Nick Cave playing Captain Hook at various points.
Really?
Yeah.
I think they just use Tom Waits and Nick Cave songs and play them over the footage of Captain Hook playing the piano, but it means technically Tom Waits and Nick Cave voice Captain Hook at various stages of the film.
Yeah.
Very different voices, so it doesn't really make sense that he would sound like both of them, but you kind of forgive it. Yeah.
There's one of the characters, I think it's the bar woman, that depending on what one you watch, you get different voices in different areas. Yeah, because it's Jonathan Ross in the UK, right? Yeah, and I watched another one the other day, and it was someone very different, some American celebrity.
Right,
I don't know.
Right.
I don't know who it was. I was like, oh, that's a thing. So that was your best sequel.
That was my previous choice.
And so what happened here?
I changed it to Terminator 2 because a while ago I read an article about like the best CGI movies from the 90s that still look good today.
Yes. And
it talked about the T-1000 from Terminator 2, and I remembered how much I loved it. And I went on like a several weeks long campaign to get me and my girlfriend to watch Terminator 2, because we always watch films together. We get like an Odeon membership, so we watch everything that comes out as often as we can. So I was sort of adamant, like, as she's a big cinema fan, I was like, you're going to love this. It's the greatest sequel ever made. She'd never seen it. Ooh. I was like, you got to watch it. It's a masterpiece. It's the best film ever made. It's the best sequel ever made. We watched it, and I remained sort of adamant in my opinion about it. I was like, it's so good. And she was like, it's a film for boys. That is very much a film for boys.
Okay.
Yeah, maybe.
Because we watched the first one first, and she didn't love it. She was like, that was fine. And I was like, yeah, but Terminator, everything that doesn't work about that film, Terminator 2 makes much better. And she was like, all right, let's see. And afterwards she was like, it is a better film, but it's the idea that you at the end are sort of like upset about this robot doing a thumbs up as it goes in the light. She was like, I don't buy it.
Oh wow.
I don't actually. And
how did that make you feel?
I feel nothing about this. I think she's right. I think it very much caters to a teenage boy audience, but I think it caters to it so well. And I think it does it without... I mean, these days, I think to cater to a teenage boy audience, you have to be sort of quite toxic and horrible. And I think it you know, it's quite wholesome.
Yeah,
in a
way. It is in a
way.
way.
The whole sort of like surrogate father plot line is really nice. I don't think it's like deeply unpleasant. I mean, there's she was making fun of the fact that like the ending has the whole thing of Sarah Connor being like, if a Terminator can learn to value human life, then why can't we? Because of the thing that John Connor says, I order you not to kill anyone. And throughout the film, he avoids killing anyone. And then that's held up as like look, we can learn to value life. But like the Terminator kneecaps so many people in that film and always does it as though to be like, look, I'm avoiding casualties. And I'm like, I don't think this is valuing human life. I think this is how to... This is like a loophole. This is a technicality.
Yeah.
Like you've still ruined those people's lives.
Still destroyed
They're
it.
never going to walk again.
Yeah, true. It's funny that about being a film for boys, because it like Sarah Connor is such an iconic female
incredible
action lead
character.
And also I think the reason it works so much better potentially is that I'm convinced that Catherine Bigelow and James Cameron are married at the point of Terminator 2 being created.
Oh, wow.
And they divorced just after it was released. I have a feeling that she had a lot more to do with that movie than is credited.
Oh, interesting.
Because she certainly did for Terminator.
Yeah.
The first... Was it the first? No, James Cameron wasn't... Did James Cameron do Terminator?
Yeah, I think he did both of them. Yeah. I think
his
Alien is the one where it's the first one's Ridley Scott and then James Cameron did the
It's his first film after, if you count, geeky-wise, is Piranha 2 or whatever it was. He got sacked off. And then, he did Terminator, so...
But yeah, there's quite a bit of like, that Catherine Bigelow might have had a bit more to do with Terminator 2, which is why it feels like a better movie, because we know James Cameron likes to make avatars.
Yeah. Well, like her character, what they do with, particularly because we watch them back to back on adjacent nights, and like what they do with that character between those two films, I think is incredible. Yeah. Because I think there's so many films where it's just sort of we subject this sort of generic woman character to a sort of horrible ordeal, and then she lives at the end, and you have the whole final girl thing. And I think the idea of then making the sequel about like the trauma of that, I think, is such an interesting choice of like, if that actually happened to you, what would that turn you into? And she's like unrecognizable in the second one, and such a good character for it, I think.
Definitely.
Of like,
because the first Terminator movie,
really well.
The first Terminator movie is very much a horror movie, really, isn't it? It's a slasher movie essentially. I know it's with guns rather than knives, but it's very much in that kind of, has those beats. And then this second one is much more of an action movie than a horror movie. It doesn't have those horror elements in it, in the same way that Alien and Aliens is. But you're right. I think Sarah Connor's one of the main reasons that Terminator 2 is such a good sequel is because she actually has character development.
Yeah, and it no longer feels generic. It's like the horror tropes of the original are very much like, bad thing here, we're running away. And the second one, there's so much more about kind of like parenthood and about sort of the responsibility of like when he rescues her and all she says is that she's furious that he like risked himself like that. She's totally like, the relationships of it I think are really interesting.
It's interesting what you're saying, because it was on the other night, Terminator 2, and my wife has never seen it, and I turned it on while the bike chase was just happening. I was like, we should just watch this bit. She'd never seen it. I was like, just wait for it. Great. I was like, good bit's coming. And all that bit happened, and she wasn't hugely impressed for some reason. I think, again, maybe it is the boys club thing. And then I was trying to explain how great it's aged and the CGI and how good the helicopter thing is later. You know, that wouldn't happen today.
Well, it shouldn't have happened then either, should it, really?
He told that, it was take a walk.
Like James Cameron quite famously, like, it essentially sent the safety people off the set to do the helicopter scene
for the bit where it flies under the underpass. It
gets really close to the guy. It's amazing.
He's like, we're done. It's
also
for the day.
Filmed in a way that like you don't even notice it's a stunt. The way it's filmed, like it's filmed in this very like matter of fact shot of just the helicopter doing it, which maybe is because they didn't have the time because he needed to sneak the shot in while the safety people weren't looking. But like, if you were going to do that as a proper thing, you would have so much more. You would do more with it. And the fact that it just happens and you're like, oh, wow, that was insane.
I think James Cameron was the guy filming it as well. He told the cameraman to go as well.
Yeah, really?
So he's the man on the back of the truck with the the helicopter getting close to it.
Wow.
And, it's a fucking great scene and I love it. But just showing her that one scene and trying to explain it, couldn't get any interest in watching the Terminator films. I was like, this is one of the best ever Terminators. And then the T-1000's running and she's like, I was like, he's the most like frightening man, kind of.
I think it's something about action. I mean, I don't want to say that this is just true for all men and women, but there's like, I had the exact same thing of like, when the truck comes down off the bridge into the storm drain, that to me is like such a huge moment. And I think I did a similar thing of like, look at this.
Yeah, look
like,
at this.
I don't care about the truck coming down. So I think she did really enjoy the character of it. And I think she found Arnie like much funnier and more like engaging in it. Like, I think she enjoyed it as a film, but there's something about like the inherent cool of like, look at the helicopter, which does seem to be such a like boys club thing. It's so odd.
Yeah.
Look at these effects. Look at him walking through the bars.
Look at his arm is a knife.
That's so much better than what we sometimes are getting in these Marvel films like Ant-Man 3 or whatever. This is incredible.
She also spotted though. There's a thing. The bit where the T-1000 leaves a bit of itself on the car and John Connor picks it up and chucks it away.
Yeah.
Which she was like, oh, it's going to turn into him later because like it can turn into anyone it touches. And then that never happens. And I'd never clocked that as a beat before, that it really feels like they put that moment in of him picking it up and throwing it away to give themselves the plot point of it's going to impersonate him. And then it never does. And if there's one flaw in it, I feel like it doesn't do as much with the fact that it can impersonate anyone as it could. Like it turns up at the end looking like Sarah, but then she immediately just comes around the corner anyway and goes, that's not me. Don't listen to it.
Yeah.
So I feel like I wonder if there was a version of the script at one point that did more with the thing of it infiltrating and impersonating people.
I'm pretty sure that Robert Patrick wasn't supposed to be in it as much as he was, but they liked him so much that they kept him in that guise more. I'm sure I've read that somewhere, or I've heard it somewhere.
He's great. What age did you see it? You said earlier you watched it late at night.
I think it was about 12, 13. Ooh. And the big problem with that wasn't even the violence. It was that I found the ending like devastating. Like I cried my eyes out at that ending. And I remember thinking like, this is why it's an 18. It's because 13-year-olds don't have the emotional resilience to watch this robot kill itself. And these days, I think it probably is just the violence. But that was my big problem with it. Was like every time I watched it, I was like, I really want to watch it again because I love it, but I'm going to have to like harden my heart so much for that ending. Like it really destroyed me.
Did you try and explain it in the schoolyard next couple of days how good it was, or what you've watched?
I think I tried to. I'm trying to remember if other people watched. I think weirdly it was a film that everyone had seen around that. It didn't become like I had this secret knowledge of this film that was too old for all of it. I think whenever I did speak to people, everyone was like, "Yeah, of course I've seen that. It's brilliant."
Yeah.
So I think everyone just watched it years before they should have, and it became a bit of a totem for everyone, where everyone was already like, yeah.
That's because in the 90s,
you don't need to tell me about
that was a family film. That's something your dad can sit down and watch with their son, and you can all enjoy it. It doesn't matter about.
Can enjoy Sarah Connor.
Yeah, it doesn't matter about the apocalypse bit in the middle when she turns into a skeleton,
rips his skin off.
Yeah, that's fine. That's family friendly.
It was only a 15. You could watch that when you were 10. You know, it's fine.
I thought it was an 18.
No, the first one's an 18. The second one's a 15. So yeah, that counted as a family film in my house. Like, it was only 18s you weren't allowed to watch.
It's a big difference.
I tried really, the thing about like they gave the twist away in the trailer that Arnie's good this time. So I thought because like we're now far enough away from the thing, I can preserve the twist and give my girlfriend that experience of like actually experiencing it in real time.
Wow.
She got it immediately.
Oh.
As soon as he takes the sunglasses from the guy in the bar and puts them on, she was like, "Oh, he's good in this one." And I was like, no, maybe not necessarily. And she was like, well, in the first one, he would have killed him and taken his sunglasses. And I was like, no, he might be. And then it went to the T-1000 and she was like, this guy looks incredibly evil. This guy's the bad guy.
He does look evil.
I was like, no, he might not be.
Yeah.
So I think I'd read that article that was like, the film is amazingly structured to make it that you can't predict the twist until half an hour in, and then they spoiled it in the trailers. And it turns out, having experimented with it, you could guess the twist like 30 seconds in.
Oh, that's disappointing.
I know, it's a shame, isn't it?
I sold that to Tiff already. He's a good guy on this one. more
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
come on, let's watch this one day.
Yeah. Arnie will be funny in it. He'll do some quits.
This is the Arnie you love. Dare I ask about the franchise as a whole?
I've not seen any of the others. Oh no, I've seen Terminator 3, which I thought was bad enough that I was like, well, this has to stop now. This is done.
Yeah.
And I've not seen 4, 5, 6.
Don't think you need
7.
to.
Is there a 7?
Salvation's
They all
4.
sound so bad.
I think we've gone to 6 because 3,
Right.
Rise of Machines, 4 is
Yeah.
Salvation, 5 is Genesis,
Genesis.
and 6 was Dark Fate,
Right.
which brings back
right.
Sarah Connor from the
Yeah.
second film. So it's more of a sequel to T2 than any other.
And I think that's the best of the bunch, but it's not. None of them are good.
Right.
Yeah, it's okay.
I think the premise doesn't really like sustain, because the thing is already like we sent someone back in time to kill you, and then we sent this person back to protect it, and then the next one is like, oh, we sent another one back in time to stop. So that the more you get into like we sent another one back in time to change what happened in the second one, so that then we could make it that another one could come back in the third one. It just starts to get like, well, this sounds stupid now.
Yeah.
Like this doesn't make any sense. Like, isn't there one where Arnie's character is the same Terminator as was in the first one, but he's got, instead of dying, he got old and turned good.
That's Genesis.
Right. And that's just like,
And they call
that
him
sounds
Pops
nonsense.
in that one.
It's like the old
rubbish.
woman who swallowed a fly by that point, isn't it? Like, you know,
Yeah.
it's just
Yeah, because by the end of the third one, everyone's like, rubbish film, great ending. That's what everyone comments about the third one. That Judgment Day happens anyway. There's no preventing it, pretty much. That's what you learn. And then the fourth one, you finally get to go see the future, and it's not very exciting. Annoyingly, right. And they bring in Sam Worthington and Christian Bale, and
you know your movies in.
That's the one where Christian Bale had his meltdown.
Yes,
right?
Mm-hmm.
That's the only
You're
thing.
a nice guy.
Yeah, that's
you and me are done professionally.
That's the only good thing about that one. I think I watched that not written,
and they didn't even keep it in.
No,
didn't even put it in the film.
They should have done. There is James Cameron apparently is writing a new Terminator film.
Oh no!
I don't think he will direct it, but he will. But he said he can't get anything on paper at the moment, is because the world is such a frightening place with AI and robots anyway that it's quite hard to predict the future. What's going to happen now? So I think Terminator is the best left. Honestly,
yeah, leave it. It will just get more and more depressing the more real it gets.
When you've reached the peak of like Terminator 2, there's not so many places you can go. I mean, you've already got like the world's greatest action film.
Yeah,
it's a far.
Let it die.
It's a far. Let it die. Let it die.
A great artist knows when to stop. Right, that's the thing. I think that's
they
the
don't
thing
even make money anymore,
with James Cameron, isn't it? Is that, you know, he is great when he's great, but he just needs to know when to stop. You know, stop. Doesn't need any more paint on that canvas.
Yeah. Have you ever got to see Terminator 2 on the big screen yet, Joz?
No, never. Always been an at-home thing. Do they do screenings of it? I guess like Prince Charles or something.
They did a re-release, a few years ago of what year would it be? 92. In 2022, they did a big re-release.
Right.
And they played it in cinemas, and it's fucking great.
That'd be cool.
I went and saw it on the IMAX, so it wasn't proper IMAX, but it was big enough to be like
big.
Wow, that was.
You can really see that truck.
That was great on big screen. It's the only thing it hasn't aged well is the stunt doubles. I was watching the bit I was watching it.
Can you really notice?
You can really notice now that that's not, Edward Furlong on the bike. That is a grown ass man. And then different man, Schwarzenegger, and the person driving the truck, obviously, and stuff like that. But it's aged, like you said, really, really well. When you picked it, I was like, yeah, we can talk about Terminator 2.
Yeah. Shrek 2 is great. I still have a lot of fondness for Shrek
2 is great.
But as soon as I rewatched T2, I was like, yeah, that's my favourite sequel. I can't lie.
Lovely.
I can't go on a podcast about sequels having watched Terminator 2 this week and claim that Shrek 2 is the best one. That's crazy.
Oh, we've had some mental things, so don't worry about that.
We have, yeah. We've had some interesting choices, but always come out of it going, I understand why you picked that.
Yes,
that's good.
Plus, it's personal to you and your journey with the movie and when you saw it, and the point of your life and stuff like that. And I like that you tried to make your girlfriend watch it, and she didn't enjoy it. And if that happens in my relationship, I would stew for a while. in another room and doesn't understand it.
Yeah, I still think it's good.
Yeah, that's happened on many of my favourite movies, so I've learned to live with that.
The family that vacations together stays together. At least that was the plan. Except now the dastardly desk clerk is saying he can't confirm your connecting rooms.
Wait, what?
That's right, ma'am. You have rooms 201 and 709.
No, we cannot be 5 floors away from our kids.
The doors have double locks. They'll be fine.
When you want connecting rooms confirmed before you arrive, it matters where you stay.
Welcome to Hilton. I see your connecting rooms are already confirmed.
Hilton, for the stay.
This episode is brought to you by Indeed. When your computer breaks, you don't wait for it to magically start working again. You fix the problem. So why wait to hire the people your company desperately needs? Use Indeed's sponsored jobs to hire top talent fast. And even better, you only pay for results. There's no need to wait. Speed up your hiring with a $75 sponsored job credit at Indeed.com/podcast. Terms and conditions apply.
Wish you could become a morning person? You know the type, up before the sun, early morning runs, first one to the office with donuts and a smile. How do they do it? Easy. With the new Galaxy Watch 8, sleep tracking and personalized insights from Samsung Health help you improve so you can wake up to a whole new you. One who, dare I say it, skips the snooze? It's possible. Train your sleep with Galaxy Watch 8. Learn more at Samsung.com. Requires compatible Samsung Galaxy phone, Samsung Health app, and Samsung account.
Another little cheeky question, which is, what is the most disappointing sequel you've seen? So it's not your worst. This is not your worst sequel. So it doesn't even have to be a bad sequel. But it's one you went in proper hyped in and you came out and you're like,
Most disappointing, I think, has got to be the third Hobbit film.
No, you've put that as your worst sequel.
Oh,
so we're not to that yet.
This is not your worst. This is separate because bad is bad. Disappointing.
I think it might. I'm trying to work out if they might be the same thing, because I also.
That means you must have really liked the second Hobbit film.
Well, no, I think that whole trilogy was like like air slowly escaping a balloon, where like the first one I was like, okay, that was okay, and then the second one was a real like, I'm not loving this.
Yeah.
And then the third was so bad that it was like that was a total disaster. That whole trilogy was an absolute disaster. And I think because like Lord of the Rings is one of my favorite films ever. So I think that going into that initial film, the process of like watching that unfold over 3 years and being like, God, I'm depressed now. I feel really bad for Peter Jackson. But maybe there's another where I have more of a like.
What about the Star Warses, the prequels, the Rise of Skywalkers,
Rise of Skywalker,
even the Spinal
Rise of Skywalker, because I loved Last Jedi.
Let's go.
Last Jedi was brilliant.
Yeah,
and I think it like tore up enough stuff to be like, we're going to try and do something interesting and something like that isn't the obvious thing you predict. And then just the degree of panic in Rise of Skywalker, of like, oh, we're not sure if everybody liked that, so let's try and give you exactly what you want.
Yeah.
And in doing that, just like made
summed
one
up
of the worst
perfectly by one
made.
line in that movie where Oscar Isaac just goes, and the Emperor's back somehow.
Somehow he returned.
I feel like they put that line in and thought, we'll come back to that line. That's a filler.
That line sums that whole movie up so perfectly.
And then they got to it and they're like, oh shit, we haven't rewrote anything. How are we going to just let him say that?
Yeah.
Let him say that.
It's so bad. Yeah. And I genuinely really liked like what they'd done in the first two. I thought like Force Awakens it's just a remake of New Hope, but it's good and it's fun.
Yeah.
And it does some things that were different. Last Jedi, great. One of the best Star Wars films, I think. Third one, just a mess. Just horrible. Really horrible film.
Yeah.
Did you go in like, was it one of those you went in first, the Star Wars first day kind of thing for me? Is I always try and book the earliest showing.
Right.
And on whatever the best screen I can see it in. So I went and paid money to go and see that at the BFI IMAX as well.
Oh, nice.
I spent extra money on the Rise of Skywalker, even though I still deny it ever really happened, or it's a student film, or you know, a dream, a bad dream. So when I go early, was that something like you, or did you hear the mumbles?
Similar, yeah. There was a friend of mine that we went to see all of them together in the cinema, so it had become like a sort of, because they came out every 2 years or something, so it was a little ritual that like after each one. So it was also just a little thing that we loved doing. So and she wasn't that as big a Star Wars fan. I think for her it was more like, I'm enjoying these movies and I watched them as a kid, and I'm enjoying like doing this as a thing together. But she wasn't like as invested in the kind of the mythos of all of it. But she still came out of the third one and was just like, that was just a terrible film. That was awful.
It is awful.
There's also like so many things that were precision engineered to just like correct what happened in the previous, like, you know, the bit in the Force Awakens where Luke throws the lightsaber away and people were upset because they were like, he wouldn't throw a lightsaber away, he'd be more respectful than that. Which means in the third one, somebody throws a lightsaber away and then he catches it and goes, never throw lightsabers away. You should treat them with respect. It's like this. I can see the like exec's notes in every single beat of this film.
Oh, yeah.
And none of it feels like it's happening for a real reason.
They've pretty much got a scene gluing whatever his face is mask back together.
Oh, yeah.
Literally with glue. Like, oh, no.
Yeah.
This is great. We should keep the mask. It's like Adam Driver hasn't got a distinctive face that's really good on cinema.
Yeah.
We got to cover that bad boy up. And obviously the introduction back to the Emperor, which never had to happen ever in any
Just
of those
makes
movies.
The previous like 3 films irrelevant.
Yep. Yeah,
like nothing happened. Nothing changed.
It explains Snook, and then how do you feel about the ending when she gets asked her name?
Oh, I sort of by then I was so like tuned out of it that I just didn't give a shit. I was like, this film doesn't really exist as far as I'm concerned. I think similar to you, I was like, that's not canon.
Yeah.
So I know a lot of people were like very upset that she calls herself a Skywalker because it's like, why does everybody have to be a like in order to be important in this universe you have to be a Skywalker or a Palpatine or whatever, and they're the only surnames that count. So I sort of get all those criticisms, but also by then I was just like, I'm done with this. I don't care what she says.
You're a better person than Rich. He lost his fucking mind in the cinema.
Really?
Yes.
It is annoying.
I audibly and quite loudly went, oh, fuck off.
Yeah, fair enough. It's a terrible moment.
Because all she had to do at the end was just say, what's your name? It's just Ray. It's just Skywalker.
It makes the film 10 times better. Just that one line makes that film better. Like, it's just, but that's the same for all of it, right? Is like tiny little things they could do that would make that film better, but they've tweaked them in a way, like exactly like you said, where you can see this is exec's notes. This is them going, but on the internet, the fans want this. And like, fanboys on the internet don't want this. You know, and getting so scared of making something, interesting that they just made something pathetic.
Yeah.
No one likes it. No one likes it. Even all the fanboys on the internet who are complaining about, Last Jedi were like, none of them, no one is happy with it. So
yes, I think I'm like demanding fan service, and then when you're given it, then it's like, no, not like that. I didn't want that.
Yeah, you make a lot of things. Could you imagine starting one film at the beginning and not knowing the ending of a trilogy?
I mean, it seems mad to plan it that way. I mean, I guess like the original Star Wars trilogy, I think worked in a similar, like they didn't know what Return of the Jedi would be when they made Star Wars, I don't think. And you can sort of tell when you watch Star Wars that like it does function as a finished film in a way of like they win and they defeat the bad guys and that's it. So you can sort of see that there's precedent for that. But even that, like he wasn't planning it as a trilogy at that point. Like he made a good film and then was like, how could I do?
I mean, if you believe George Lucas, he had all 6 in his head, all planned in his head from the off.
I sort of feel like the first one just feels so much like a standalone thing.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Wait, hang on.
And there is like interview footage of Mark Hamill and Carrie Fisher after, I think it's after Empire, where they talk about, George has got plans for all these prequels and stuff as well. Like they mention like all the plans and stuff. So he obviously by that point he's got plans. But,
I could believe that he sort of expanded the whole thing a lot after the first one. Yeah. But the idea of actually like explicitly saying, so this is going to be a trilogy and we're making 3 and we don't know what they will be and they're being made by 3 different people who aren't talking to each other. It's like, and you thought that would be good?
Yeah.
That's wild. It is wild.
It's wild.
Absolute madness.
Absolute madness. Okay, so let's move on to that next big question, which is...
Yeah,
Joz.
which I've hinted at, given away.
Yeah, that's fine.
Spoiled.
Joz, what is your worst ever sequel?
I think it's The Hobbit, The Battle of the Five Armies, the third Hobbit film. And I think partly because of that thing of like, to go from something as good as Lord of the Rings to something as terrible as that trilogy. And I find it really heartbreaking as well. Because, it was the whole trilogy was going to be done by Guillermo del Toro.
Yeah.
And I think it wasn't going to be a trilogy. I think it was going to be 2 films, maybe.
Mm-hmm. Which it shouldn't have been in 2 films either.
No, it should be 1 film. It's a very short book. And I think it also wasn't going to be explicitly like the same like universe, inverted commas, as the Peter Jackson ones. Like, I think maybe they were going to get Andy Serkis and Ian McKellen back, but I think Del Toro sort of had free reign to like redesign things and like put his stamp on the world so that it wasn't directly like shared universe stuff. It was just Guillermo del Toro's doing The Hobbit. Maybe it'll have Ian McKellen in it as a little like nod to the other films, which is sort of more interesting to just like do the story with a bit of a fresh take. And then the fact that they course corrected as urgently as they did, and then Peter Jackson is sort of reduced to sullying one of the greatest films of all time by just having to kind of please his paymasters, I think is such a shame. And I think the first 2 have things that like sort of recommend them vaguely. Like, I think the whole dragon bit in the second one is quite well done. There must have been something I liked about the first one. Oh, the Gollum stuff in the first one is good. The third one is just like, I think it's literally a paragraph in the book.
Yeah.
It's like Frodo
gets knocked out.
Bilbo gets knocked out and the battle happens while he's unconscious. And that's like 1 page. And it's a 3-hour movie of that. And all of it is happening in a computer. That's the main thing I remember hating about it, is there's a bit towards the end where Bilbo and Gandalf are in a field. And it felt like coming up for air after you've been underwater, where I was like, oh, I can breathe because they're actually in a field. And when you spent so long just watching bored actors in front of green screens interacting with like horrible glossy sets, it's everything that was great about that original trilogy. I think is done wrong. Like the fact that everything was done for real and built on real sets, and they actually built all the props and all the miniatures and the models and things, all of that is just like, no, we need to make this one quickly and cheaply, so just stick them on a green screen and build it all in a computer. It looks horrible.
There's a famous Ian McKellen quote when he's just sat by himself on a blue screen with no one else. And he's like, this is not why I got into acting. I think it feels like a film that even Peter Jackson didn't want to make any of them, to be honest. He kind of got crowbarred in doing it. It was either you do them or we're going to take this world away from you and give it to like a McG or someone.
I feel really bad for him with that.
So it feels like a very unloved trilogy. I'm sure he had some lovely times doing it, and everyone tried really hard. I think, Martin Freeman's good as Bilbo, but that third film in particular, there's so many characters and moving parts that people just go missing. For a lot of parts, from especially the dwarfs. Like at the end, they all walk out, and you think, "Fuck, I forgot they're all still."
They were sort of like the main.
You've killed a few of the good-looking ones. Can we talk about Aidan Turner not having any prosthetics?
Crazy. That's absolutely mad.
I never get over that. The choice of that. Like, so we're going to cake all the rest of them in fake noses, blah blah blah. But this very pretty man,
we mustn't cover.
We must not cover any of him.
He's got to be pretty enough for an elf, like, to fall in love with, right? That's the thing.
That must be the thing. Yeah.
But the film already has like eye candy characters, and if it's about like we need like a hot guy in this, like they managed to make Thorin sort of look hot.
Yeah.
Richard Armitage, and they had Orlando Bloom, and they had what's his name, Luke Evans.
Yeah.
Like, it wasn't like they were lacking characters that they could make into the sort of heartthrob type character. The fact that they had to choose one of the dwarves to be like, oh, and obviously one of them has to be fit. Just so many weird creative choices in it.
It makes me laugh that they try to fill the Legolas hole with other characters when Legolas is in the fucking movie. So...
I tried to
different colour eyes.
There was something very weird about Orlando Bloom in that movie. Is that what it was? These eyes?
I think they forgot what colour his eyes were in the original films. I think maybe I can't remember this. Maybe in Lord of the Rings he has blue eyes, and in The Hobbit they're brown. No, I think it's the opposite.
I think they're very blue in the Hobbit film. If anything, they've overblued them. Maybe he's younger.
Possibly in the books. it said Legolas has blue eyes or something. Maybe there'd been fan backlash since the Lord of the Rings films came out where they were like, yeah, they're good, but Legolas is supposed to have blue eyes. So they corrected that. So it's again that thing of like, nobody cares. Like everyone thought Orlando Bloom was fine as Legolas.
Yeah.
So at what point were you getting worried that it was going to be a bad sequel? Like, was it beforehand? Had you watched any of the promotional stuff? Was it even after they said, hey, it's going to be a trilogy, guys? And you're like, well, I've read this book lots of times. And
I guess I sort of had the hope that, like, I think particularly because I always think of Lord of the Rings as like one big film. I guess I was kind of going into this with the same mindset that, like, I didn't really feel like I could judge it until I'd seen the third one.
Mm-hmm.
And there were enough things in the first two that were like, oh, I quite liked that. That it meant, I think there was still a part of me that hoped that something would happen in the third one that made it worth doing. Other than that thing we were talking about like, okay, you knew you could make some money from this thing, so that's why it happened.
Yeah.
But I think I just went into it with really high hopes of like, well, fingers crossed they've managed to like do it again and like capture the magic of it. I mean, it should be alarming from the off where you're like, it's such a tiny book and you've made 3-hour movies from it.
Yeah.
And the entire subplot about like they're off to fight a necromancer or whatever. Oh, and doesn't it also create a massive plot hole of like, because in Lord of the Rings, Gandalf has to go off for months to do some research to work out what's going on. And the thing he's researching is like events he was present for.
Yeah.
Like Galadriel and Lord Elrond turned up and they're like, oh my God, the Dark Lord is back in some kind of form.
Yeah. And then 100 years later, they're like, he's back.
I think they even mentioned that they're searching for the ring. So it's not new information.
Yeah, so they all know about it.
Yeah.
It's terrible.
I watched these. My son wanted to watch a film with a dragon in it. And so we started watching the Hobbit movies. Watched the first one, fine, not enough dragon though. Then watched the second one. He was very happy about that. There was enough dragon.
A lot of dragon.
So we thought we'd watch the third one, and we stopped halfway through because he was bored, and we've never gone back to it. So
because the dragon's gone. Dragon goes early in that film,
and it's boring from then on, essentially. So yeah, we've never gone back to it.
Is he in Dragonheart, starring Sean Connery? That's a great film.
It was in my thoughts. I was like, we can't watch Reign of Fire. He's too young for that.
Yeah.
I'm not quite sure what other dragon films there are. Like you could have shown him.
There could have been like Pete's Dragon or something, I suppose. But he wanted like a proper dragon. He didn't want like a friendly dragon.
Yeah.
It's amazing there's not more of it, actually.
Yeah. You'd think there'd be something.
A dragon genre.
Yeah.
God,
like a kind of subheading on IMDb or whatever.
But
you can select for dragon movies.
So that was about a year ago, and we still haven't gone back. Like,
wow.
Yeah.
I also, this is real kind of like nerd complaints, but I'm annoyed by how big the orcs are throughout the Hobbit trilogy. It really pisses me off.
Okay.
Because I think there must have been like an attitude of like bigger is better or whatever. So they made all the orcs enormous, like they're huge.
Because in Lord of the Rings, they grew Uruk-hai to be that big.
They grew Uruk-hai, and they're bigger and stronger than normal orc, and they're like they're so much smaller than the orcs that we saw them all fight in the Hobbit. The orcs in the Hobbit are about 10 foot tall.
Yeah, they're all like wheezy little.
That frustrates me. I'm like, this is broken the canon now. I can't enjoy this.
And that was straight away. Did you go and see any of these? I think I don't know if it got to the third one, but he released them in different frame rates.
Oh yeah,
I went and saw. I saw the first one in 48 frames per second, which made it look like a documentary, pretty much.
Yeah, so it looks like a TV, like behind the scenes.
Did not like that
movie
at all. So I really hated that first film for a while because I was like, it was so out there that when it took a rewatch when it came out to watch it again. I was like, okay, that's got some fun parts. I like when they turn up for lunch, and I like the barrel bit. And that's fun.
Oh, yeah. Which, again, in the book is just like them floating down a river in a barrel.
It's a fun,
when you watch it, it's like, let's turn that into a theme park ride.
And the spider bit's fun. I can't remember if that's the first or second film.
Yeah, nor me, actually.
Is that most of the second film just them hiding in a cave?
I think a lot of it is just him running away from Benedict Cumberbatch. And have you seen the video of Benedict Cumberbatch doing the mocap?
Yes, it's incredible.
It's incredible. I suppose it's respect that I have for him to be able to do that and switch off the bit of his brain that's like, I look like a prat. But respect is a weird word for it when you are just watching a guy in pajamas crawl around.
Yeah, because it kind of works with Gollum, because Gollum's kind of like human-like. I can see mocaps that. A dragon?
Yeah, it sort of feels like that could have just been a voice role, surely.
Yeah.
Surely you didn't need Benedict Cumberbatch to debase himself like this.
Did you rewatch The Hobbit 3, whatever it's called, The Battle of Five Armies, recently? Is it just the one time you've watched it?
I didn't. I've not rewatched it since, actually. Well, actually, I watched it twice at the time because my dad always wanted to watch them.
Oh, this is going to get
so
sweet.
I would watch it with friends and then I would watch it with Dad. And I don't think he loved them either. But again, it was like something that we'd established that we do. So it was like, well, we'll go and see the new Hobbit film. So I think I saw it twice and I felt like that's already more than that film deserves, I think.
Did you warn him beforehand how you felt, or were you trying to keep it like upbeat?
No, I think I didn't want to like direct somebody else's experience of it. You know, I'd say this having said I was the guy going, wait till the truck turns up into it. But now I'm saying I don't want to tell other people how to feel about the film. But I guess I didn't want to tell somebody like, you're not going to enjoy this.
Yeah.
And I think I suspected already that like he wasn't hugely impressed by these, but I think he always came out being like, well, we've had fun.
Did he like Lord of the Rings? Churchy.
He did like Lord of the Rings.
Okay.
He's a big Lord of the Rings fan. I mean, he doesn't really watch films very much, really, but we did watch Lord of the Rings when it came out, and he enjoyed those.
It's something
and
you
likes
guys
the
do
books.
together.
Yeah, occasionally. Not for ages, actually.
Oh, it's quite sweet.
But he lives very far away. Got to go to Lincoln to watch a film now. Can't be bothered to do that.
It's got a cathedral.
No way. Yeah, beautiful cathedral.
Is the cheese
really
still
nice.
made there, or is that just one of those things?
Cheese, yeah, Lincolnshire cheese, Lincolnshire sausages. They're the big exports. From around
You're
there.
selling it. You're selling it to me.
Yeah. It's a beautiful place.
Cheese and sausages. Is there, if you do a rewatch of the Lord of the Rings, do you do the 3, or do you go, I'm going to do the 6? And have you made your girlfriend watch them?
I think we've never actually watched it. She's seen them. And I think it's such a big undertaking that the idea of being like, we should spend 9 hours watching those films we've already seen feels like quite a big ask.
I mean, that's why COVID was great for making
really kind of ploughing through things.
You're stuck here now.
Yeah. But at some point we probably should, because it is like it's one of the greats, and it's one of the big marathons you can do.
Yeah.
We got to find like a day where we've got nothing. I won't do extended editions.
That was the next question. Would you do normal, extended?
I think I've seen the extended editions once each, and with most of them I was like, yeah, that stuff could be cut.
So have you watched you haven't watched the extended Hobbits then?
No, never. Are they good? I mean, surely not.
We watched the extended Hobbit of the Five Armies, whatever it's called, because it's the only version we can get hold of at the time.
Oh, wow.
So it was like 3 hours long. I'm not quite sure how long the original cut was.
Yeah, maybe it's more like 2.5 or something.
And I would say it's even more jubbly. So people really go missing a lot in it. You know, but Brian Connolly or Billy Connolly, which one? Billy Connolly's in there.
Oh yeah, he plays like a dwarf king.
And that's fun.
And he's CGI as well.
Yes.
Isn't he?
Yeah,
yes.
They give him a CGI face. And it's like, why couldn't you just put a helmet on Billy Connolly? He already looks like that. He's got a big beard and big mad hair. Could have just been him.
That is true. They make him
I know that
ginger
these
a
days
bit.
he's not very well. He's probably quite frail.
He's got Parkinson's now. But
yeah. But at the time, I'm sure they could have put a helmet and some armour on him and he'd have been all right.
Yeah. It's weird that these weren't as massive as they should have been. Like Lord of the Rings is massive still, and everyone really talks about it. And these are kind of like, don't mention the Hobbit,
sort of came and went.
Hobbit film.
Don't talk about those
And
ones.
it's sort of, I feel a bit like it, I don't know, like killed his career is fair, because I think he made the choice. But it does feel like I don't think he's made films since Peter Jackson. He did Get Back, the Beatles thing. But so he's done like documentaries, but it seems to have killed his like enthusiasm for making narrative stuff, which I think is a real shame when he made like such brilliant work.
You're 100% right.
To have like a bad experience with a studio like that and to be like, cool, I'm going to do something else now because that wasn't fun. I feel like that's a real shame.
He's so loaded now. But you're right, the last few things he's done.
he doesn't need to.
It's the Beatles thing, and then there was a World War II documentary thing which was amazing.
And now he's trying to de-extinct the mower.
Yeah, it is a shame. I love those Lord of the Rings films. And when
they're great.
And when I went
They're
for the
so
Hobbits, I was just like, these are just
He
not.
is supposed to be doing the Tintin sequel, isn't he?
Yeah, he's meant to be doing that for 15 years, though, Rich. Or whatever it's been.
Wow, as long as that?
Because Spielberg made the first one, he was meant to make the second one, and then they were meant to do team up for the third one so they can. But
oh, okay.
That first one didn't make the money.
I thought I saw something quite recently about him doing a Tintin film, but I might have completely made that up.
Yeah, because you send me stuff that you get excited about. It's all made up from AI'd bots or whatever it is.
It wasn't. Yeah, could well be that.
Well, I would love a new Tintin film. I think that first one's fantastic fun.
It was fun,
and technology's only improved since that one. So why not? I would go for that. But would you go back to the Lord of the Ring world at all? I don't know if there's any more stories. I mean, there's this new Gollum film they're bringing, the Hunt of Gollum filler film they're going to do.
It sort of, again, just feels like maybe some of these films are just films that were good and we can move on and do other stuff.
Yeah.
But then the annoying thing is they had that thing where Pixar brought out Elio this year and nobody went to see it, and then Disney made a statement about it was all right. It was quite good.
It was a really hot day and I needed to go somewhere that had aircon. So I went to Elio.
But Disney did the statement about it where they said, like, if you keep saying that you don't want us to do more sequels, but then when we put out original films, you don't go to see them, so don't be surprised.
Because they didn't market it.
Yeah, they didn't market it. And it also just wasn't an amazing film. Like, in development, they took it away from the director because they panicked and I think it was more openly about, like, a queer neurodiverse character.
Yeah.
And then they were like, we can't have that, so they took the director off it. So it was like, you meddled with this and you stopped it from being the film that it could be, and then you put it out and didn't market it, and then you went, oh, you didn't go and see our original film. So... yeah, it's frustrating. And I think the Lord of the Rings thing is exactly the same thing of, like, they've realised they have a world here that they can dip into more. But it's like, there's basically just one big good story in that world. And the rest is just, like, dregs. Like, that Rings of Power TV show is so padded out.
It's almost like Tolkien knew what he was doing. He should just do that, really.
I wrote 2 books and that was it.
Yeah.
Well, I guess there's the Silmarillion, but that's mad.
That's mad. Have you ever been able to get to New Zealand and do the tour yet?
No, one day. Yeah. One day it'd be nice.
It's on my list.
Yeah.
Welcome to Sephora.
I'm looking for a perfume that's not too perfumey.
I got you.
Serum moisturizer or moisturizer serum.
Let's get into layering.
My concealer is making me look worse.
Sounds like the wrong shade. Let's get you matched.
There's only one store that really gets what you're going for. Get beauty from people who get beauty. Only at Sephora.
Hi, Let's get you a basket.
Dripping in gold? That's cool. Dripping in Velveeta's supremely creamy golden cheesiness? That's respect. Elevate your drip with Velveeta's range of outrageously delicious dips and dishes. Shells, cheese, melty blocks, and heat and eat queso that go all in on indulgence. Flex on your fam with a creamy, cheesy masterpiece and go all in on what you love with Velveeta. Respect the drip and satisfy your cravings. Bring home the drip with Velveeta.
No one should have to choose between their own safety and their pets. But nearly half of domestic abuse survivors delay leaving because they can't bring their pets with them. Purina is helping to create more pet-friendly domestic violence shelters through the Purple Leash Project, so survivors and their pets can escape and heal together. Visit Purina.com/purple to learn more.
Next cheeky question, which is, what sequel seemed like a bad idea but you ended up liking?
Oh,
now we've mentioned the Puss in Boots earlier. That's normally one of our go-to answers.
I know what it is.
Good.
It's the new Naked Gun.
That's
brilliant
a good choice. Yeah,
I loved. I thought it was so good, and I really expected it to be either disappointing or, like, actively depressing. Another one of these. Like, why are you doing this?
I expected Spinal Tap 2 from the Naked Gun movie, and it's not. It's better than that.
It's really fun.
Really good.
And it's the first time in ages I've been in the cinema and just felt like the film I'm watching is not doing anything other than just trying to make me laugh. Like, it's just
from the start.
It's just silly.
Well.
Yeah, and that's so rare that you get that. And I think Liam Neeson is nowhere near as good as Leslie Nielsen, but he's good. And it's interesting that, like, because in my head that's what makes those films work, is just Leslie Nielsen's performance. And it's interesting to watch it and to go, okay, it's a huge part of it. But actually just that spirit of, like, we're making something dumb and stupid and fun can, like, transcend that and do and work with somebody else in the lead.
Yeah.
I thought it was great.
Did you expect it to be that way, or were you going in nervous?
God, no. No, I expected it to be, like, cynical cash grab rubbish. And particularly because I love those films, I was like, I expect to be annoyed by this. And then the trailer had that, like, had that gag of all of them being the kids of the dead cast members from the original film.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's a funny gag. And it maybe sort of started to change my mind on it. But I still went into it being like, I'm sure this will be fine. And then I really laughed at it. Like, I laughed out loud so much more than I ever do in a cinema. It was great.
I was worried about the trailer was going to drop all the best jokes because they dropped the manslaughter line, which is great. And then Anderson taking the chair. Please take a chair
and the
line.
Coffee cup coming through the window.
All good stuff. But as soon as I watched it and the plot device was called a plot device, I was like, I'm in. I was having such a bad day, and I watched that, and it really made me laugh throughout as well. Like, there's a scene in the car that just keeps going when he's
when he needs the toilet.
That's one of them. Very good scene. But the one he's getting away and Danny Houston's character's taking control of the Tesla, and he breaks the windscreen, and then bees get in, and then honey, and then balloons,
fantastic.
and then he goes back. There's another windscreen, and that locks him back in the car. I think
that's brilliant. That
I think it's absolutely great. Would you watch another one of them?
I think
because it hasn't.
I think
I don't
I
think
would
it's done brilliantly.
Right. I enjoyed it so much that I probably would, but I would suspect that maybe like that one was a real labour of love to sort of let's capture the spirit of the originals.
Yeah.
And that maybe the next one then might be a bit of a quick rush this out, drop the ball kind of thing. I'd like to think it wouldn't be, and I probably would go because I enjoyed it enough. But I wouldn't then be expecting it to be brilliant because I liked that one. I think my expectations would reset to be like, okay, let's see.
I was really surprised by it. I quite liked the trailer, and I thought, do you know what? I think this is going to be... I don't watch trailers very often. I try to avoid them. But I saw the trailer, and I was like, actually, this looks like it could be quite funny. And I ended up staying like right to the end of the credits because there are so many little funny things in the credits.
It's a funny song. He's singing the song,
but also
Their Weekend
all the,
Away,
like,
which is another great scene. By the way.
But also in like the credits, it has that thing like the other movies do, where it's like best boy, someone's nephew kind of thing, and like all that sort of stuff in the credits. And it was just me and a little old man like leaving at the end, and he just went, well, that was a lot better than I thought. I was like, yeah, me too.
I think that'll be most people's reaction when they watch it.
Yeah.
Like, that's good. It's got good people. It's got one of the Lonely Island guys directing, who's directed a couple of like hot rods of really funny film, the Chip and Dale film. When I say that, I don't mean the hugs. I mean the mice or the raccoons.
Rescue Rangers,
The Rescue Rangers. Yeah, that's a great movie. So
absolute classic.
It kind of felt like we're in safe hands. These are funny people making a funny film. And Liam Neeson's very funny in it because, everyone was worried about that. But then you go watch that scene from Life is Short or whatever.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, he can be funny.
And it kind of, I'm with you. It was surprising. I liked the first one a lot. I've never seen the third one, I don't think, or if I can't really remember it. Rich remembers.
I really like the third one. People don't like
the third one.
But I think it's good.
But I watched them. I did like you've done, and the third one was the first one that I watched. So that's the one I liked the most.
Yeah. It's got that big finale at the Oscars.
Yes. Yeah. I like it. I like it.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad you picked that one because I don't think anyone's going to pick that one again, to be honest.
Yeah, it's fresh in my mind.
Okay, let's get on to the last one. The big last question is, Joz, what is your dream sequel?
My dream sequel, I don't think it's going to happen, but I would love there to be a sequel to the Dungeons and Dragons movie from, was it last year or the year before? Dungeons and Dragons Honor Among Thieves.
It was 2023.
Yeah.
Right. I thought it was so good. And as sort of like an obvious franchise starter of like, that's obviously what they had in mind for it, was like Dungeons and Dragons is a huge brand. And I think I found it particularly in this like current climate of like everything's very IP based and it's all about finding a franchise that has pre-existing audience and stuff. And generally I think that results in like quite depressing formulaic filmmaking. And it was the first one of those I'd seen in ages where I was like, this is really fun. And they've nailed the tone and the performances are great and the characters are funny and the story is actually like well thought out and there's good set pieces. And I think it just didn't do enough business, I think.
I can tell you it made 205 million.
Oh, that's bad.
From 150 million budget, right?
Yeah.
That's terrible. Yeah, that's not happening, is it?
And that was in when...
Worldwide, that's global box office.
Yeah. That was the 39th highest grossing movie. And that was below like The Marvels, which also got slagged and trolls.
Oh, that's such
together.
a shame, because I thought it was brilliant.
It's much better than those numbers deserve, I think.
Absolutely. The cast is incredible. Absolutely incredible. Are you a Dungeons and Dragons? Are you one of those dice playing
Not
guys?
hugely. I've played it before. A friend of mine, for his birthday, we set up he said he wanted to set up a D&D group and a tournament that we would play every now and again. And we did it for a while, but it's the thing of like, it's so difficult to pin down time when everyone's around to meet up and do these things. So he'd written this campaign where we had to find like 6 pieces of an amulet, and then we'd bring them all together and defeat a wizard or something. And I think it took us 2 years to find the first piece.
Wow.
And then we did the maths and we're like, we're going to be like 43 when we defeat this wizard. And I think we all found that. And he was like, well, that's your fault for like not prioritizing it. We need to like make more time. But I think we found the prospect of that so depressing that it kind of fell away, and I've not played it in ages. But it's a fun game.
Yeah. What about the cartoon? Do you remember the cartoon when you were little?
Never seen the cartoon.
Oh, the cartoon was great. That's what
I
get excited about Dungeons & Dragons TV series.
Same.
It's a really good. I'm amazed they haven't made a film of that.
Right.
A live
I
action
didn't
film
even
of
know
that.
there was
Well, they did
No,
have a nod to
should
it in this, didn't they? They have the characters from the cartoon like show up.
Oh, that's fun.
Like just in the background kind of thing, I think. Like you're not
that's
really
quite
you're not
nice.
really in it, but yeah.
Because they're about they're stories that normal kids get sucked into this Dungeons and Dragons world from like our Earth, and then just
Yeah, they're on a roller coaster.
Yeah,
and they go into a
without
tunnel on a roller
parents,
coaster, and that's
so
it.
and they've all got kind of different kind of powers.
Yeah.
So when people used to say Dungeons and Dragons, that's what I used to think
me
until I was
too.
older.
Right.
And then people explained Dungeons and Dragons games is different. So
Yeah.
were you excited when it came out? Did you think it was going to be a good movie? Had you heard about it? And
I think it looked like there was enough sort of fun around. I think, again, it sort of goes back to that thing of like, I don't necessarily need movies to be brilliant for me to enjoy them. So I tend to be just looking for things that have like a genuine sense of fun about them. And because I feel like you can sense like effort from trailers and from buzz and things. And when it looks like something's just been put together to be like, to get bums on seats and to sell tickets, I feel like you get that vibe quite quickly through the marketing. And when you see a trailer or you see like a junket with people and it seems like they've genuinely invested time and effort into like making something that they care about, I feel like that comes across a lot. So I wasn't necessarily going in thinking like, I think this is going to be one of my favorite films, but I think I did feel like this seems like a fun film that people have tried to make good.
Yeah.
And also, I'm not dismissing every bit of like blockbuster filmmaking as like, oh, people literally don't try. Like I'm sure people do put huge amounts of effort in.
Yeah,
but you know what I mean? There's like a different quality of like, oh, this actually like feels like someone has crafted it in a way.
I agree with you. I was just looking at the Rotten Tomatoes scores.
Oh yeah, how did it do?
Well, critics, it's on 91%.
Wow.
And then
that's good.
on audience, or popcorn meter as they call it now, it's 92%.
Oh wow, so it did great.
So it feels like
just didn't make any money.
Just people just didn't see it. And I wonder
That's such a shame.
if the title Dungeons and Dragons
Yeah.
is the thing that's putting people out like, we don't want to have that geeky thing, but like, no.
Yeah, I guess it's so loaded with
this could
kind
be
of
like a Lord of the Rings fun kind of, I don't know, world. And look at this cast. We got Chris Penn. You love Hugh Grant. Hugh Grant's in it.
He's fantastic.
He's having
in
the
it.
best time in that movie.
He's off the chain. There's that great set piece as well, where one of them has an amulet that can wake up the undead, and then you get to ask them 5 questions, but they ask the question that they want to ask immediately, and then he's not allowed to die again unless they ask him 4 more. So they have to think of some, and then they can't think of a last one, so they just leave him there. That's great. There's things in it which are just like really funny comedy sketches where it's like, this doesn't even have anything to do with like big blockbuster filmmaking. Like you've just put a really fun comedy sketch in the middle of your film, and it's great.
Yeah, it's like the Michelle Rodriguez character, the barbarian woman. She loves short guys, and Bradley Cooper turns up as this like short guy, and you're expecting when she's talking about this guy to be like a huge mountain of a man. Then you get there, and Bradley Cooper's just this little farmer, and she's like, "Whoa, I would."
Is that why you loved it, Dave?
It's one of the reasons I loved it. I like the directors.
Dave's only 5'5", by the way, so that's why.
5'5.5".
Right.
Give me that.
Sorry, missed the half an inch.
I'm still grabbing onto it, and if you put the hair up a bit and some shoes, I can at least get to 5'6". But it's not one of the reasons I liked it. I just really had a really fun time with it. I own it on Blu-ray or 4K. I bought it, so I really enjoyed it. And a bit like you, that it's a bit sad that it's never going to happen.
That's such a shame.
I was hoping it's going to be one of those movies that does really well, like on demand, and then people find it slowly and then come back to it, because I'm sure the cast was signed up for more than one movie, especially when you put a colon on and Among Thieves.
That suggests that people want.
They kind of leave it open at the end. I mean, Hugh Grant's still out there being a mischief, and the team's still together, and they're all like, we like each other now, we would like to spend time together, and I think it's a fun world. But 2023, it's not too many years, so
it could still happen. Could have a big second wave. Probably not if it lost that much money, but
the budget was huge and it didn't make enough money. But what would your Dungeons and Dragon movie look like, that sequel? Would you bring about the cast?
Oh, great question. I mean, I guess you got to reunite that cast because they're a big part of what's fun about it. I guess you got to bring Hugh Grant back. Maybe
you definitely got to bring Hugh Grant back.
I mean, there's always the thing of like in the sequel you turn the villain good or whatever, but then he already starts it good and then turns bad during the film, so you can't really. There's only so many times you can flip the allegiance of that character.
Yeah.
I don't think I'd have any specific demands on it other than just like I had such a wonderful time in that world with those characters. It'd be nice to just see I think I would want exactly the same creative team. If they brought it back but they were like, oh, it's a different writer or director, I'd smell alarm bells, because it just feels like the team that made it really like put the effort into making it good. So I'd want to see what those people would want to do as like the next chapter of that story or whatever.
The team that made it were Jonathan Goldstein and Jonathan Francis Daley. Now, you talked about Spider-Man earlier. They wrote Homecoming.
Oh, did they?
And they also,
that's interesting.
They also directed, these are funny films, I think, Game Night.
Game Night's
you've not seen that?
It's a fantastic film. And I don't know how you feel about it. They also did the new Vacation movie, which I think is actually quite funny. It's got some really
cool,
funny bits. I mean, it's no Christmas Vacation, but it
right.
Has Chris Pine done anything since 2023?
He made his own movie, Pool Man. That didn't do great, I think.
Oh, he was in Don't Worry, Darling. That Florence Pugh.
That was 22,
I liked that film. My wife really loved that.
Was that 22?
Movie. Yeah.
Oh wow. God, I'm getting all my films in the wrong order.
Wish, that other Disney film. No one. Wish.
That must have been 23 as well, mustn't it? Wish. Same year as.
Yes, it was.
He's gone a bit quiet.
So for a couple of years then.
Oh no, I was going to say Mad Max, but that's the other Chris. I get them all confused. That's Chris Hemsworth.
Yes.
Chris Hemsworth.
I was like Furiosa.
Furiosa,
yeah.
Which was good. At what point do we give up hope that there will be a sequel to this? And then would a reboot be an interest of you?
I don't know if I'd be interested in a reboot. I feel like we can probably give up hope immediately, right?
Okay.
If it made 200 million on a 150 mil budget, I was
trying to be hopeful.
Yeah, it'd be nice. I'd really like it. But I feel like a reboot is like, I don't know. I think the thing I really loved was the chemistry of that cast.
Yeah.
And like those it wasn't the concept of doing a film in the Dungeons and Dragons universe that made it good.
Yeah.
It was the specific choices they made of like these characters, this story, this tone that really worked. So I think a reboot, I'd be like, that's a shame.
Yeah, because they would have to slash the budget to make it like a 50 million film. And I kind of feel like a lot of the budget's got to go on special effects. And it's Dungeons and Dragons. It's got to be there. Can you see where that 150 went on screen though? Because it looks good, right?
It does look good. I guess I'm trying to remember if there's much in the way of, isn't there like a big CGI arena that they're in at one
there
point?
is.
Yes.
Yeah.
There's a big dragon that chases them at one point.
Dragon
Dragons
Rich.
are expensive.
There's
another
dragon film. Yeah.
Show him that.
Good idea.
Write that one down. Yeah. I think I watch another one, but like you, it makes me sad.
Feels unlikely,
it doesn't make late, and the reboot, and the cast. I don't think they've probably released them from their contracts now, and or if they redid it,
there's only so long you can hold on to.
I feel like when you watch that, you felt like they weren't all on green screen. I think they did a lot of filming in Northern Ireland for a lot of that stuff, so you can kind of tell that it looks good. They tried to make it epic, and it just didn't happen. Have you ever watched I know we keep going. There's also the other Dungeons and Dragons film. Have you ever watched one with Jeremy Irons? Yeah,
the one with Jeremy Irons. I remember watching that and really enjoying it at the time. I've heard it's dreadful.
It's dreadful, and there's about 3 other ones after that as well.
Really?
Which I haven't watched. Yeah, they're like straight to streaming, because I think that one did okay at the box office for how much they spent on it. I think one of the Wayne brothers is in it for some reason.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever actually watched it.
That was another one I saw with my dad. That was I think it was a sort of, we'll go and see fantasy movies at the cinema together. That was a sort of tradition that got established. I think he hated that one. I think that was one where he couldn't even bring himself to pretend that he'd had a good time. I thought it was great. And he was just like, we're not doing anything like that again. They have to be good from now on. And then I think Lord of the Rings came out quite soon afterwards. So he was like,
it did,
thank God
they were
for
trying
that.
to get onto that
Same
bandwagon.
sort of time. Yeah.
I think it's a shame because there's an IP there that they thought they could tap into. And a lot of people
do more with.
Play Dungeons & Dragons. I still think it's the Dungeons & Dragon name that put people off. I really do.
Yeah, it could well be. Yeah, it feels like it's so established.
It feels like it's up to us, the people who enjoyed it, to try and pass it on.
Yeah, spread the word. Do go see it, guys. Rent it on streaming.
Have you made your partner watch it?
We watched it together. She loved it.
Oh, there we
she
go.
Absolutely loved it.
We're off and
She was a
running.
huge fan.
Yeah, my wife liked that one as well. So
yeah,
I'm going to see if I can get my son to watch it this weekend. I'll be like, I found a dragon movie.
Yeah. I think the dragon is quite sort of comic relief in it, isn't it? It's like it's
very
become
minute.
really overweight because
Yeah.
it's been sitting in a cave
Oh
for
yeah,
years.
that is a good scene as well.
So it's a great scene, but I think it's quite a funny dragon, which again he might not love if he's looking specifically for like big scary dragons.
He might. It depends on his mood. But
Right,
yeah, he might like
right.
it. He might quite like it. Those were Joz Norris's Unequal Sequels. What a lovely second episode of this series.
We are off and running, aren't we?
Are off and running, full pelt, Usain Bolt, sprinting.
Some more great picks. A couple we haven't had. The best we have. So the best sequel he picked, originally when he got in contact and he gave me his picks, he said Shrek 2. And we went, great. Not many people have picked Shrek 2. Well, what Shrek 2?
Rihanna Dillon picked Shrek 2.
W-Rated picked Shrek 2, I believe, didn't they as well?
Did they? Oh, they did. You're right. They did.
Well, that's way back from someone.
Way back in series 3.
Yes, and I watched Shrek 2. I don't know about you.
No, I didn't, because it's pretty much stored in my memory bank.
Yeah, me too. It's good. And then maybe, I would say a few hours before we recorded, he went, actually, can I change it? And I've just watched Terminator 2. And I was like, okay, that's fine. We can talk Terminator 2.
Yeah.
Because he's right.
Yeah.
Isn't he? Terminator 2 is one of the greatest sequels.
Yeah.
It was fun. It was fun to talk about it again, though. We got to talk about Shrek 2 as well, so it wasn't a waste of my time to watch that film again. And Joz is a lovely guy, and he loves all films. And talking about making his wife partner watch it and her reactions, which is kind of the same reactions my partner has over it as well. So it was quite interesting hearing that. And then obviously the worst was a new pick for us. The Hobbits, The Battle of the Five Armies.
It's not good, is it? I mean, it's not terrible. It's certainly not like a Caddyshack 2 kind of pick. No one's gone into that going, that's the worst film I've ever seen. But it's just disappointing. It's wholly disappointing.
It's
just
a
a bit
wholly
blur.
Disappointing trilogy, to be honest. That you just really wanted it to be awesome, like Lord of the Rings trilogy. And then we got delivered that, and it just doesn't live up to the magic, and it doesn't feel like as much loved as that original trilogy. But I watched it again, actually last time I watched it was in lockdown, as we call it now. Because that's when I watched every box set that was available to man, apparently. And I think it's okay, that movie. A lot of people go missing. There's a lot going on. It's too packed full. And
it still comes up on my TV that I've started watching it and haven't finished. Because I started watching it with my boy and we gave up halfway through.
Because the dragon dies.
He was bored.
And that leads us on to Dream Pick, which is Dungeons and Dragons: Honor Among Thieves.
Which, after recording this episode, like the very day that we recorded this episode, me and my boy went and watched Dungeons and Dragons, and he really enjoyed it.
Because it's great.
Yeah.
It's great.
It is great. There were a few times when there's a few sweary words in it where he was like, oh.
I'll let your boy does. Yeah. I'm glad he enjoyed it, though. Did he at the end of it go, oh, can we watch the next one? And then
No, he didn't.
Heart?
He's not really sequel heavy. If he likes something, he wants to watch the same one over and over again.
Okay.
Even with TV episodes, sometimes he'd be like, we've watched this episode before. He's like, yeah, I just like it. I was like, oh, God.
That's very rarely have I gone back to watch a TV episode again, I think. There's not many shows that I keep, comedy-wise, more than I would say, like a Breaking Bad or something like that.
Spaced. I go back to Spaced quite
Spaced is
often.
a happy thought, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. The Office for me. Parks.
That's
Like
Office. I've never actually
People
watched
Just Do Nothing.
Parks
I
and
do back.
Recreation.
And Taskmaster. I repeatedly go back to Taskmaster all the time. But yeah, they were great picks from Joz. So thank you very much, Joz, for picking some great sequels and for us to watch. And thank you very much for coming on the show. If you don't know who Joz Norris is, he is a fantastic comedian. You may have just seen his show at Soho Theatre, which is You Wait, Time Passes. He just did a small run there. It went down very well. It was brilliant. You might have seen him at some point in Edinburgh Comedy Festival. If you've been up there, he's been up there quite a few times. You might have caught him at one of his Egg Box shows, which he puts on with his partner Hayley, which the next one is on at the 4th of November at the Pleasance in Islington. And there they show comedy shorts and funny scripts and stuff like that. I hope I got that right, Joz. And also he is going to be in a play in October in Camberwell. I'm going to get the name wrong. He's going to kill me. The Wolf of Poway. Anyway, if you want to know about Joz, check out his website. It's joznorris.com. Just type in Joz Norris. You'll find him. He's a lovely guy. He's a very funny comedian, and he's a very big film fan. And hopefully we'll get him back at some point in the future to talk more remakes or prequels or something like that.
Yeah. Very well done, sir.
There we go.
Very well. You can tell Dave was taking it seriously because I'm pretty sure he was waving a picture of Gandalf at me whilst he was saying that. No one else can see that because we're on a podcast, but I'm pretty sure that's what it was.
Okay, I just got to explain this quickly. When Tiff had her job interview at the school the other day, she had to do a class.
Okay.
And she printed out for the whole class, she did it like a bit on The Hobbit, basically. So that is Gandalf.
Oh, nice.
But she's like, do you need scrap bits of paper? Yes, I said. Anyway, carry on, Rich.
A nice little insight into your life, buddy.
Yeah.
If you would like more insights into our little lives, just need to follow us on social media. We're on all the social medias, apart from the bad ones. We'll let you decide which ones the bad ones are. I think you know where the cesspits are. But we're in all the others. Just type in Unequal Sequel in the search bar and you'll be able to find us. Let us know what you thought of Joz's picks. We will read out your comments at the end of the month roundup, which will be coming very soon. Also, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. We'll drop into your pod player of choice every single week. If you really, really love us, then join us over on anotherslice.com/unequal sequel, where for just $2.99 a month, and I say just because it is a minuscule amount of money for the podcast quality that you get, you can join our subscription service where you'll get Box Set Mentality, you'll get Disenfranchised, where we talk about movies that should have had a franchise but didn't, and you'll get extra bits from all our interview episodes, including this one. So if you want some more of Joz, then join us over there, please. Also, you will have a chance to get some exclusive merchandise. That will happen. I promise it will happen. You've heard it here. But only for our super special slices. So only our people over on anotherslice.com will they be able to get this exclusive merch. But if you would like to get your hands on an exclusive coffee cup, it's a thermally done one. It's a proper one. You can take it to Starbucks and get them to fill it for you from the Conjuring Last Rites. Only cast and crew got these. They're very, very special. But if you would like to get your hands on one, all you have to do is give us a 5-star rating preferably on Apple, but wherever you listen to your podcasts, take a screenshot of that 5-star rating and email it to us at unequalsequel@hotmail.com. That's unequalsequel@hotmail.com. Email us that screenshot. You will go into the draw, and by the end of October, you could have your hands on a very special Conjuring coffee cup. Yes, that is a thing. Yeah, so come and join us. Don't forget to like, subscribe, all those things, and we will love you forever because that's the kind of guys we are.
Good job. Well done, man. I will do that post about the competition tomorrow. I'm just making it now, so it's going to be done. Thank you very much for listening, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you enjoyed the episode with us and Joz Norris. That is season 9, episode 2 done. Next week we move on to season 9, episode 3, and then we're getting closer to the big 100. Thank you very much, everyone. I've got nothing else to say. It's a goodbye from me. Bye-bye, and a goodbye from him.
Bye.
See you the next one. See you for this one. Have a great week. Bye-bye.
Did you know that Joz Norris was once on an episode of Judge Rinder?
Yeah, I did read that. Yeah.
I need to find that episode.
I don't know why, but it must have had his reasons.
An unpaid fee after a performance at a rock festival, apparently.
Weirdly, he's not the first person I know to be on Judge Rinder either.
Oh,
yeah.
Interesting.
Oh, don't go there.